I graduated with my bachelor's degree, my BSN, in 2020, and I went straight into the PhD program at Michigan State University College of Nursing that fall semester. So during that time too, I was trying to find a research area that I wanted to hone in on. Um, so I kind of chose stress because obviously during COVID, it was very stressful. And just from my experiences, going through life and going through clinicals and stuff, I realized that high school was actually such a stressful time. Um, so that was kind of what led me to do this meta-analysis for stress management interventions. It was just kind of to hone in on or on my research area, um, and just learn more about the field of mental health that way. There were such few studies at the time that utilize school-based or community-based stress management interventions. And I mean, based on the review, there were only 25. And that is kind of concerning, given that, stress is at an all-time high, mental illness, anxiety, depression is at an all-time high. Um, so that was the first piece, but it was promising because we saw that they were like small to moderate pooled effects in reducing stress, anxiety, depression. Um, and the follow-up effects, there were roughly large effects in reducing anxiety. So there is promise in it, but there's that, research to practice gap where we don't implement enough interventions in community-based. The work that I'm doing now is actually focused more on suicide prevention. So it's a more distal outcome versus stress. And just from my work in conducting that, there's been, an increase in suicidal ideations among teenagers. So just from looking at, if we don't target stress, then potentially, there could be outcomes, like worsening outcomes in the future. Just from looking at, the findings, it seems that we just need to implement more, whether it's mind-body interventions or cognitive behavioral interventions. Like there needs to be more done in the community settings before they transition into being admitted into the child or into the mental health units. So that's my biggest takeaway from conducting this work too. And even just from the trajectory of my own work, we're seeing that through the rise in suicidal ideations as well. Conducting my work, I've realized that we do too little too late. So, like the notification of, like the acknowledgement that, burnout or like ideations, it almost seems like we're intervening too late in the spectrum versus, we probably should implement more of these like prevention um, interventions, such as like more stress management interventions, so that we don't have as many kids end up in the mental health units.